finishing up this laundry that I probably should have had done hours ago. But better late than never, right? Girls are outside and they left the TV on all the time, every time. Kids, gotta love them. I also told them to make sure before they go outside to play that they cleaned up their playroom. This is the area that I am in right now, playroom. It is not completely cleaned up in here. They will be cleaning that up. Let me get back to this laundry. Finish this laundry, or I can't go outside and play because I didn't finish my chores. Let me get in here. They should be done. I only had one last load drying in here. Let me set you guys up right here. I only had one last load, but I had an idea for a video today, so that's why I am filming right now. I just got done watching oh yep, those are nice and dry. Just got done watching the latest Casey Neistat video. That guy makes some amazing work, man. He's a very inspirational YouTuber. Just watching him and see his work ethic, the ideas that he comes up with, makes you want to do better yourself. Yep, laundry is done. So I had an idea for a video today, so I think it might be time to take a walk. So I was watching this earlier, this WWE 24 Empowered, right? About how the female superstars are redefining sports entertainment and all that, and how the WWE women are doing it big. They've been doing it real big over the last year or so, right? And as I watched it, I had a smile on my face because I was proud. For one, I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm proud to see that the women are being treated equal. They're having better matches. They're having better opportunity. I'm just, as I watched it, I was like proud watching it. I had a smile on my face. It was good. The night of the Royal Rumble, I woke my oldest daughter up. She had a math test and everything the next day. I woke her up and I brought her in here. I let her sit over there and I let her watch the Women's Royal Rumble. It was the main event. I said, Olivia, wake up, wake up, wake up. I got her up and we came in here and we watched this Royal Rumble. It was a big moment to me and I didn't want her to miss out on it. So as I watched that Empowered show, it hit me, man, like something that I had asked. I said, why, the joke is that the heartbreakers, the guys that were players and everything in school and as they were growing up, the ones that just treated women like crap, girls like crap, when they were younger, is who has the daughters, right?
Daddy, what are we having for dinner?
Food. That's the answer every time. So anyway, the guys that were players and everything in school, they are supposed to grow up and have the daughters, right? That wasn't me. Like, I wasn't really a player as a kid. Like, I didn't get girls as a kid, man. Like, as a teenager, early 20s and stuff, before I get married, I didn't have a whole bunch of girls, man. I might have dated a handful, but I wasn't like a player. I wasn't out there in them streets doing the absolute most back in them days. So I always wonder, it's like, man, like I made it out to be like it was a bad thing. Like, man, like why me, man? Why 3 girls, man? Like, why did my dad has 2 boys. I'm one of 2 boys. I have one big brother. My brother has a son first, and I'm like, I'm struck out completely with sons, like just straight girls. So like, what happened? You know what I mean? But as I watched this, I feel like it, you know, not just because of this, not because of wrestling, but I feel like my daughters have helped me become a better person. Right? Like this is something as I watch this, I feel like me having my daughters helped me become a better person because I wouldn't have appreciated this years ago before they came around. And the reason I say that is because I've watched wrestling my entire life. Like from birth up till almost 33 years old, right? And there was a point in time where wrestling, where women were treated as nothing more than eye candy. They just came out, small outfits, just showing tits and ass, basically. And that's what they were there for. They were just there to look good and be eye candy for men in the audience, right? Back in the day, as I was younger and I was growing up, they had bra and panties matches on TV. Kids in the audience, like I went to shows. My father took me to shows as a kid, and they would have bra and panties matches. We're ordering pay-per-views at home, bra and panties matches on WrestleMania. That's how women were treated back in the day. And as a youngster, I saw nothing wrong with that. Like I saw absolutely nothing wrong with that as a kid. I just thought, hey, this is wrestling. This is how it's supposed to be. So as I was younger, I was younger, I didn't see anything wrong with it. But now that I am older, I see like, man, that is jacked up. Like there's really something wrong with how women were portrayed as I was growing up in wrestling. Alright, gotta go pick up some stuff for dinner before the wife beats me up. Alright. Alright, so anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? I forget. They used to be treated terrible back in the day in wrestling, man. Like the women in wrestling used to be just treated terrible. It could be some women that were legit in-ring performers, but they're just out there to look good. And women in sports in general are just treated terrible, man. Like, for example, look at the WNBA. The WNBA, those women can really get out there and ball, man. Like, not even just WNBA, like the NCAA, the women's basketball NCAA, they just had an amazing Final Four, man. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Notre Dame with the amazing game-winning shot to finish off who they play, Mississippi State, which sucks for Mississippi State. 2 years in a row, back-to-back runner-up, man. Like, come on, man. I kind of wanted them to win, but you can't knock that shot by Notre Dame, man. That was a good-ass shot. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the point. The point is, as I watched that Empowered episode of WWE 24, it just made me realize, like, man, how far things have come and how I would have not. I don't know if I'm not saying like I wouldn't have appreciated it. I wouldn't have appreciated it if I had a son. Like maybe I wouldn't have grown, but it's just things like that I notice. Like I want things better for my daughters. I want things to be treated equal. Stuff like that I would have never thought about, being that I'm grown up male dominated, like with my brother and my father and, my cousins, just how I grew up with my life. I would have never noticed things like that. I wouldn't want things to be better and equal treatment, I should say, for my daughters. Like my daughters, when they were younger, one of them wanted to be a wrestler. One of them wanted to be, I want them to play basketball. One of my daughters wants to play basketball. But how can I, the way that I know that people treat those people back in the, like, women athletes and things like that, like people always talk trash about the WNBA and like how nobody wants to see that. But me having daughters, I do want to see it. I do want to see that. And I mean, it's a little bit different for me because I always liked the WNBA. I've always liked it. I just love basketball. So whether it's men or women playing basketball, I don't care. As long as I get some good basketball action, I don't care. And women, if we're going to be honest about it, might be more fundamentally sound at basketball than men are. Because a lot of the times men are going to get caught up in being flashy and wanting to cross you over and dunk and do all this crazy stuff that's flashy. A lot of the times the women's game, and when you're trying to teach young players how to play ball, the women's game might be the better way to watch. To keep it funky. But that's also another discussion. With having daughters, I want people to care more about the WNBA just as much as they would care about how the NBA. I want people to be filling up those seats to come see the WNBA players, because I have a 10-year-old and I have a 7-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, and my 7-year-old really wants to play basketball. So I don't want her to get discouraged because she grows up wanting to play basketball and nobody's filling the bleachers. She gets out there on the court and nobody's in attendance. The attendance level is down. Like, nobody's coming to watch the games. Like, that's discouraging, man. My oldest daughter keeps saying that she wants to be a wrestler. Like, I would not want my oldest daughter at all to be in a bra and panties match, man. Like, as a father, like, I do not want to see my daughter in a bra and panties match. I don't want her to grow up thinking, okay, I'm gonna grow up and be a women's wrestler, and I'm gonna be like, because she used to love AJ Lee, right? AJ Lee was her favorite wrestler. Now she likes Bayley a lot, right? I don't want my daughter to think that she's about to grow up and be the next AJ Lee or the next Bayley and think that she's about to get in the ring and compete and really put her all into having a great match, only for her to be tossed into a bra and panties match or something where she has to be stripped nearly naked just so she can get a good fan reaction. You know what I mean? And that's growth. I think that's growth on my behalf that I would have never even considered without having daughters of my own, man. I don't think I would have even thought about this as a topic if I didn't have daughters of my own. You know what I mean? So I think just watching that, it made me realize how appreciative I am now of my daughters, man. Like, they've really helped my life out, and it goes beyond wrestling and basketball as well. It goes that way for women and music as well. Excuse me. It goes that way for women in music as well, because, like, I did a video a while ago, I've deleted it now. One of my favorite albums released last year was by Rhapsody. And, you know, women don't get a fair play, man, in music either. She dropped one of the greatest albums released last year. It was amazing. Layla's Wisdom by Rhapsody. If you don't have it, check it out. It's an amazing album. Still to this day. It's in my CD player right now. I bought that album twice. I bought it digitally and I bought the CD. Like, who buys CDs? That's how great that album was, man. Like, but a lot of people don't want to hear that because it's a woman. And guys usually want to hear women talk, you know, sexually, and they want to see you. They want to see how you look. If you look good and you talk nasty, that's what guys used to want to hear in rap. They didn't really care about women that was actually able to go bar for bar with the guys, man. And that's what Rhapsody can do. So I mean, there's things that I notice now as a father of 3 daughters that is a whole lot different. It's like, wow, man, like, this is crazy that we used to think like this. We used to think that shit like this was okay, man. This was an okay way to treat women, man. And I give credit to my daughters for my change of perspective, man. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I feel strongly about that. I feel like maybe if I didn't have daughters, you know what I mean, that my perspective would have just been trash, man, because a lot of guys' perspective as it relates to women is still trash. It's still trash. WNBA, I mean, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to watch that. Ain't nobody watching no WNBA. Women's wrestling. Women's wrestling, man, they used to call, whenever the women's music would hit, they used to say, oh, man, it's time to take a piss. Piss break. Like, that's what people used to say about women's wrestling, man. And now that I have daughters, especially daughters that are interested in these things, I'm like, nah, that's wrong, man. That's wrong how we used to, like the frame of mind that, and it's not even that that I was always like that. Like, I wasn't, in some cases I was like, you know, I didn't care as much for things, or I didn't notice things. I think that's the better way for me. I didn't notice how wrong things were back in the day. Whereas in some cases, some guys just don't care, and they're just like, I don't care to even, you know, I want to see the guys do this. I don't want to see women do this exact same thing that women can do, and in some cases can do it very well, and might even do it better than us. So I think that's just something that, you know, was on my mind as I watched this Empower thing. And man, we have come a long way. I've come a long way, man. I've come a long way with my perception and how I look at women, man. There are equals, and in some cases they're better than us. It took my daughters for me to grow up, and I have my answer. I have my answer as to why I was blessed with 3 beautiful, healthy daughters and not a son. There it is.